To the marrow, keeping out of sight, where we all glow, it's a new flow. Sunset spilling downtown, light leaks on the pavement, shadows.
Yo, what's up, guys? Crypto's been on a tear. NFTs have been on a bit of a tear, it seems like, too. Are we on like an imminent, huge bull run? Kind of feels a little bit like that, but I'm being cautious still. But I obviously hold some pretty decent stuff. One of those being a mutant, which today we've got the release of some more merch. And if you guys happen to own any of that, I would be buying up merch nonstop. You can move your NFTs to other wallets and keep buying. So, but yeah, let's look at the market, what it did over the weekend, and I'll bring the other guys in to get started. Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Vince?
Yeah, so the both the NFT and crypto markets look pretty nice right now. I mean, Ethereum's up, I think, 15% basically on the 7-day, 13.97, and mid-tier and blue chip NFTs have kind of followed along. McKay was going to talk about the volume on OpenSea, which also has been very nice lately, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing...
Oh, let me unmute you one sec, McKay. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I just wanted to talk volume because I think, especially over the weekend, like last week wasn't anything super crazy. Obviously, like we were just coming off of the ape token hype from a week and a half or so ago, and we were starting to see ETH pump like Aiden like you had just mentioned. But now I feel like on OpenSea specifically, we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. Like just looking at the past 2 days specifically, obviously like the 100 million target range is something that we saw all of January. I mean, almost every day in January was above 100 million USD in volume every day on OpenSea. And then like we had several days in January where we had surpassed that number, and we were even far above 200 million. But like right now, the key indicator of a bull market on OpenSea is really if we can stay consistent and continue to try to reach 100 million in volume on OpenSea. Yesterday, we saw one of the highest days of the week. We had gotten up to like 30. Actually, it's showing 112 million. Right now, we're at 36 million for today. So at this rate, we probably won't pass yesterday's volume. Because I mean, it's 1 p.m. Yeah, it'd be really tough for us to surpass what we saw yesterday. Something between like 75 million and 90 million today is probably more realistic, and I think that's entirely possible. Again, I think the key is more money driving into these blue chips, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit later. But I think a lot of that movement yesterday was coming off of some really big Twitter conversations that basically came from a place of we're seeing more money moving in the direction of bigger projects. And like Aiden had said on the podcast on Friday, feels like what we're seeing now is like if someone has, think exactly what Aiden said. He said if someone has like 2 to 5 ETH to play with, what's stopping them from putting it into, collectively putting that into a solid mid chip to blue chip project rather than diversifying that and putting it into a bunch of projects from 0.2 to 0.7 that are likely just going to go right back down to zero. And so I think we're going to kind of go over that today a little bit as well.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we saw Azuki's, one of the blue chips, you could say, run up to almost over 19. It's retraced a little bit, which is actually pretty good to see if you see it sit around 15, 16 now after a really, really nice run from basically, I guess, around 10, right, AD? Basically 9, 10, like a week and a half ago.
8 or 9.
It was 8. Yeah, it was 8.
Right. But then I would say it kind of consolidated closer to 10 for a while, and then
Yep.
kind of took off from there. So a retrace is expected, won't be up only. But yeah, good to see some money flow into these better projects, I guess you could say.
And off of that idea of better projects, we had World of Women Galaxies take off this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Dutch auction mint sat went from 3 ETH to about 1 ETH, and I believe everything sold at around 1 ETH. Collection size is pretty large. I know some World of Women holders are still claiming total supply is 22,000, 10,000 to public, 10,000 to holders, and 2,000, I believe, like team members
To
and
me.
other people have as well. I like this project a lot. I think buying into this isn't a derivative, right? Like it's a true World of Women project. Getting access to that ecosystem at a tenth or I guess a seventh almost of the price seems like a pretty good buy. At 1.55 right now, like I don't know. I like these. I would be making a play on them. I'm looking to free up a little bit of liquid and we'll probably take an entry because I can see these going up to around like 2 or 3 in a bull market, and then I'd probably look to sell. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, you know, this is a blue. I mean, World of Women is absolutely a blue chip project. It is the project that women in the NFT space gravitate towards and have really gotten behind because it's the first to market. Obviously, ton of influencers are there. Gary V, Pranksy, many others, and female celebrities as well. So I like this as a buying opportunity for a project like this. I think it's pretty safe to say the floor won't go below like 1.3 ETH on these. So 1.5, I think there's more upside than downside at this point.
Yeah, I was
And volume's
thinking
just
yes.
been crazy for this one over the weekend. Like, and even till today, like it retraced a little. I think it got to like what, McCabe, 1.8 over the weekend.
Yeah. It was the volume's nuts, and there's something to be said about like we see blue chips all the time, right? You have obviously like the Bored Ape ecosystem. World of Women is right up there. I mean, it's past so many of these blue chip projects just because of like the mainstream attention that's been brought to it through like that's where a lot of this NFT attention is coming from, is starting at Twitter through World of Women, and now they're finding exposure to smaller projects right below World of Women, right? But what we haven't seen, like obviously Bored Apes, you have mutants. Something like Doodles, you have like the space derivative. But I think the market was so ripe for an opportunity for a project like World of Women, which is, like you said, that's as blue chip of a project as it gets. I don't even care. No one should care what the price or floor price of World of Women is. People buying into that project don't care either. Like they're so bullish on that long term. The holder, like everything about that project just screams blue chip long term, attention to that project. So having some sort of exposure to their ecosystem, buying into this, like not derivative, but buying into this mini project is such a clear signal of exposure to their platform, which you like. I just think no one's even focused on the price right now, and that's why the volume's so high.
And people have been buying up rares too on this secondary project. I think World of Women, right? You're betting on a huge team. You're betting on the fact that they have a partnership with the sandbox. And in the future, when they continue to build and hopefully benefits come to the World of Women holders, the benefits will also come to the World of Women Galaxy holders. Who's to say they don't do a
Yeah.
token or a land sale or anything? Like you got to be thinking in these kind of ways, especially when the team was just able to raise that much money, right? Selling out 10,000 at 1 ETH. They've got now 10,000 ETH in addition to their aftermarket sales. It's like this team has so much money. If they continue to build, holders should see some benefit of that. So I like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The volume, like you said, is what's ridiculous. Like there's so much buying pressure here, and the attention being brought into the project. Like what is 1.5 ETH to someone who is trying to gain exposure to a blue chip and not does not have the capital to buy into something like Azuki? Like that's such a clear buy signal in my opinion. And these guys buy and they don't even look at the floor; they just wait.
I remember buying the OG World of Women for like 1.6 ETH. It's crazy. Now you're buying another project they did for the same price. But yeah, I like buying here, to be honest. If you're bullish on NFTs in general and just want to hold something, this is solid. It's kind of like the play on the X copies a little bit, totally different like genre and stuff. But if you're bullish, like long term, then buying one of his mints where there's like 7,400 of them, it still makes sense. So yeah, let's go on to Kwame. I
Kiwami.
don't love these, but I think AD kind of likes them.
Well, I didn't like them until today. I looked more into them. Originally, I wasn't super excited because I looked at their website and checked out one of the links, which was their Instagram, and I was just looking through it, and it's linked in the top right of their website. And what really struck me was that they had 86 followers when I looked, and I looked now and they have 139. Um, and their posts get like 26 likes or 20 something likes per thing on Instagram. And I understand Instagram isn't the target platform for NFT projects. Like I get that. But I will say that like if you're building a community, for me an indicator would be strong presence on all socials and engagement across all of them. I know when smaller communities were starting out, Doodles, for example, right? Like they drummed up a significant following on Twitter, but it was nothing like an invisible friends with 500,000. I think they had like 30, 40, 50K and were slowly building, but their Instagrams were also building too because people just wanted to engage on all fronts of the project. I was told by one of our collaborators that some people from Anonymice are the people behind Kawami, and they're from Japan. And they've been intentionally trying to keep the project low key so holders can get it. I think anonymized holders get access or something to this today. Kind of an interesting project. The art is obviously the anime style that we've seen become popular after someone like Azuki kind of breaks through the mold with that. I think that the reveal will be interesting. I personally think these look way better than Murray. The vibrant colors kind of speak to me in a different way, and I think there's enough variation in the traits that seem to keep it really interesting. So I'll be watching that. I was thinking about taking an entry sometime this afternoon. If it gets down to about like 0.3, I'd probably buy there and see if it gets lower, maybe buy another. But I can see these going to like 0.6, 0.7 after reveal. And I can see similar buying pressure to what we saw with Murray. I don't think they'll push past 1 ETH personally, but I think they've got potential to go to like 0.8 or 0.9. In a market like this where I think everyone's hungry for these smaller, lower priced projects to rip, I can see this one being one of them.
For some reason, when I first saw them, it reminded me of the Owen ones because of this like devil looking
Hmm.
one, and then the other guy with
Yeah.
the big nose, and I just was like, I can't handle this. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
some potential for sure. Let's go to Bored Ape stuff. Ape token where you can buy merch if you're a holder. Some of this stuff is really sick, and if you have a mutant or Bored Ape, it appears that you can move them from wallet to wallet and keep checking out, and I will be doing that the next couple days because I think this stuff is like a no-brainer when it comes to resell, even though it is made to order on the limited hoodies and stuff. The soccer jerseys for mutants and the hats for mutants are limited, and then for Bored Apes, I think you have hats and then you have um, rugs. So that stuff will sell out pretty quickly, I think. But yeah, pretty cool. They actually are having issues right now, to be honest, with payments. I think it actually is an issue with Coinbase, but that being said, there's some issues going on right now with the whole thing. But I think it's
Yeah, I
a
just
easy way to make some money.
yeah, it looks like it's the issues with Coinbase Commerce, which from what I understand is like an extension that these sites have an option to add through Shopify's checkout, and so the issues like on Coinbase Commerce, from what I understand.
Yeah, that would make sense. And don't really need to be in a rush right now if you have one, because other than the limited items, the other stuff will be available. I think it's for 2 days. Let me check. Um, Yeah, it closes Wednesday at 9 p.m. So you have, yeah, you have more than 2 days. So like, no rush on making a payment right now, unless you really wanted the soccer jersey and the hats and stuff, which obviously will sell out once this stuff is taken care of. But yeah, pretty cool stuff, and obviously they're gonna be selling some other stuff for Ape in the future. Speculation on their land sale being an Ape, but yeah, it's kind of cool that people are being able to use Ape, I guess you could say, for the first time on something.
I'm
Are,
seeing on Twitter that there's some difficulties with people buying it. Some transactions that are being logged has gone through, but
yeah,
or people's money's getting taken without the transactions like being logged. Might
exactly.
just be like strain on the Ape network, or I guess it's an L3, so not really.
It's
But yeah,
an issue, I think, with just like the transaction confirms you sent the Ape, but Coinbase Commerce is not logging that it's a checkout, basically. Whether
weird.
that's delayed, the biggest issue here is people buying these products, the checkout not working. So like a lot of these products that were limited, they could be sold out, and they're taking all this Ape right now, so they're gonna have to refund like a bunch of Ape probably, because I would imagine like the limited jerseys and stuff that are out of like 2,500, I think that those have sold out by now, and you can't, like, the commerce site where they would hold stock and stuff doesn't know that the checkouts are actually coming in. So I did manage to get my checkout early to go through on two of the jerseys. They also screwed up by not saying that you only had one checkout per wallet. People were pretty upset about that because like people were trying to quickly buy like the soccer jersey, so they just didn't get the other stuff in the checkout. And I'm one of those people, but I moved my ape, like I was saying, to my mutant to another wallet, and you can check out again. So I'll wait and do all that jazz, but I'm talking to like a minority of people here, so let's go on to something else. Let's talk about this awful proposal. I've seen so many funny memes about this. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you could do this and think it was a good idea.
I kind of think it was like, I don't know if it was actually real. I mean, everyone
It
says
was
it's real,
real.
but it was
real.
so
It
bad.
was real.
So I
Yeah,
guess
I mean,
bearish on him, not really on mutants, obviously,
for
but
anyone
bearish
that
on him.
wasn't on Twitter for the last 2 days, basically this mutant ape holder proposed to, I guess, his girlfriend, and she was like facing her back was facing the camera, and like her reaction was legitimately like deadpan. She barely showed any emotion. I think she said like "aw" a couple of times, and then that was it. Like she wasn't excited even a little. And then the same guy that tweeted the video responded with a video of them like kissing for like 40 seconds right afterwards. Super weird. It got a ton of engagement. People memed the hell out of it, which sucks if it's, obviously like they're celebrating something.
So
So
bad.
it's
Ugh.
rough that like that, but like I don't know. It was definitely a moment on NFT Twitter yesterday for sure.
They had a day in the in the replies,
Yeah.
to say the least. The detectives came out.
Yeah. Oh, a few things in chat. Xcopy ran to almost 2 ETH this weekend. I'm still holding with it retraced at 1.3. I know this was supposed to be a long-term thing, but it has the drop to do with ETH flying or something else. Well, Danko, it's just because people are starting to move their NFTs off of Nifty and sell them on OpenSea for profit. I mean, you're looking at $1,000 profit. People are just like, I don't want to hold it. I'll buy back in when they're cheap in 6 months, right, or something like that. Because like long term, it could take a while for this to go over to ETH, the Xcopy stuff. So it ran up so quickly. If you could have taken the Xcopy off Nifty, some people had the 3-day hold, and probably a majority of people, since they were all new buyers on the website, the people that were able to sell at 1.7 and up, I think it would have been wise to do that because you didn't have all these people who just bought for the first time on Nifty being able to sell there. And obviously now it's retraced pretty heavy. and I think it'll take some time for it to reclaim 1.5 and above. But
Did you see
yeah.
why it kind of pumped like that? Before I kind of go into it.
No, I just was thinking because there wasn't that many people actually able to sell them.
So yeah, totally that.
And
but,
then
like,
some
there's another
speculation about
kinda-
it being a generate. Go ahead.
That's where I'm going with this. So there's a rumor going around that these are actually all unrevealed, and people are. I've seen some that don't believe it, some that do. But Xcopy's the kind of guy that can pull something like that off, if anyone. So that would be insane if these actually all reveal. So like a true generative project. Maybe he's working on it. I don't know.
Yeah, you
But
would have to imagine he'd have to
would
work on
be
it.
insane. So maybe in a couple weeks we'll see something. But that was, I think, one of the big major reasons that it pumped like that, in tandem with what you were saying about people who wanted to get ahead of all the sales.
That'd be really sick if it was like a generative project. Obviously, now that he knows how many items there are and everything, he could be like, okay, and now here's what we do. Would be crazy.
That'd be insane.
Axe Payne and Friends.
From what I had heard, like the original assumption was that it was going to be the basis of a generative project, like some said, and then Xcopy had some sort of tweet that hinted at it again, and that's when the price really moved.
People are going super detective mode on this one.
This is one of those things, those times where you could take that kind of risk and the information and say, I'm going to buy a few of these and hope that that is the case, because they could go to like 5 ETH plus. High risk, obviously, because you're hoping that that does occur. I guess even if it doesn't occur, maybe it's a solid play too, because you'll probably see it go up to 2 ETH, not financial advice. But I don't know. That's pretty. I feel like this kind of entry, a 1.3 ETH entry with that kind of speculative information, yeah, could be a solid play. And then some other stuff in the chat. Are they physicals? If you're talking about the merch, that's real merch, the Bored Ape stuff. But if you're talking about something else, let me know. Yeah. He left the proposal on the screen. It's on oh yeah, I had it on YouTube for a minute. People. Oh, turn off the makeout stuff. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, Xcopy tweeted something that people are misinterpreting, possibly. I see. Okay. Well, yeah, all speculation regardless. Let's get into Jeff. Oh, this Jeff, whoever brought up the Jeff Opdyke stuff, do you guys know how he has like a blog?
Yeah, I've seen some of his posts before. I was
and
actually considering subscribing to it after this one. It seems I've never read him, but his name has popped across my feed more than enough times now for me to be interested.
Yeah, for sure. So what's he doing here?
So he put out an article about the Atadians today, which is a project we've covered a few times now. It's one I really like. It's almost like a credit DeFi system to kind of replace, maybe not replace, but maybe act in tandem with doxing. And it's just super unique, really interesting. And he basically said, all right, of all the projects that I look at, there are a few that I see and are like, whoa, this is really cool. And I didn't read the article, just not yet. I didn't have access to it. But he basically sat down with the founder of the Atadians and I guess interviewed him and basically said, oh, I see these going 5x, 10x, 15x, whatever it may be. So that caused a pretty significant pump. I had called these when they pumped last at 5.5, saying that I wanted them to retrace for a buy-in. Hopefully some guys took that, because if they did, I mean, they're up a ton right now. Kind of expecting that to happen again. They don't really have the best marketing, which honestly is I think all they're missing, because it's such a good project that in a couple of days they could, I mean, it's just been a cycle. This could totally happen again, in which case if they hit the low 3 to 4, I'm personally going to buy again and wait for the next pump.
Cool. Let's see. We have some other stuff. Astrals went down a bunch, and I think
Yep.
you had even said like a good time to sell last time when we were like 15 maybe or
So,
something.
yep, I did, but it was totally unrelated to why they dumped. Needless to say, it was a busy Solana weekend. But they had an announcement from one of their guys on their team that they had partnered with Optic Gaming. People got super excited because they're obviously a big name. People bought and pumped it up a lot. I think it had hit as high as 17 at one point. And they came out and said, yeah, we just fired that guy because that's not true. And they took a pretty big hit. I think they're under 10 now.
We fired that guy.
Yeah, they're trying to put out some fires right now. I still like the project. Nothing's changed about that. Maybe this is a good buying opportunity. I don't know. Still waiting on that liquidity pool. I think they is that slated for like first or second week of April now. But yeah, that announcement did not do so well.
Gotcha.
That was the big one.
Tanked it.
Yep.
Okay.
But if we're talking about announcements, we did have a really good one with the Solsteads. You know.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Solsteads.
Yep. So Soulport Tom, who's the owner of Teo Robotics, in terms of like influencer power in this space, I'd say is neck and neck with Frank from D-Gods, who we've been talking about a little bit recently. So they bought and took over the Solsteads project. I missed the pump initially, but I know a bunch of our guys were pretty active in chat, and a bunch of them got in and made some good money. So what Solsteads is it's pretty much just another typical metaverse play, but I guess the Teo Robotics version of it now. So they have the homes and they have the citizens. The homes, I want to say, went from like 25 to 40 at its highest, and I think we're sitting around 30 right now. We had been looking specifically at the citizens that had been basically nothing. I think they were like 0.3 and are now 1 point. Let's see, I have it pulled up here somewhere. They are 1.2. They had ran up to I think 1.8 or so. So what we were looking to do specifically here was wait for that retrace because they had rocketed so high, and kind of buy in. When it got lower, like I think we called it around 1 to 1.3 on that small range there. I personally have full faith in him as a creator. He's really good and knows a lot about what he's doing. And obviously, I mean, look at Teo Robotics. It's one of the highest priced NFTs out there on Solana. But yeah, there are some plans in place. They haven't said what it is yet, which kind of leaves an opportunity for us to buy in low. And if that announcement is good for where the future of this project is going, we could very easily see maybe like 2.5, 3 SOL, depending what it is, of course. And for a low buy-in with such powerful names behind it, that's an easy buy for me. Just pretty low risk, low cost. So I'm watching. I think once the news kind of dies down in the next day or two, they'll go a little bit lower, which is what we're really looking forward to buy in. And then I'm just going to hold them.
Cool. Solsteads
Sick.
and Tayo. What are Tayos at right now? I remember wanting those things.
The incubators, I think, are at like 50 to 60, I want to say, when I saw them yesterday. And I think the main ones are still well over 200.
78 right now on the main ones. Huh.
Damn.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Yaku Core.
Yep. So our favorite Solana project here at GFNF. They just made the capsules live last night, which is a very important step in the right direction. I can actually, if you want, share my screen. I have mine loaded up.
Okay, let's
Let
see.
me do that now. You guys hear me?
Did you do it? Let's see.
I had to switch over. Something with the mic.
Once you
loaded
do
up
it, I
here.
gotta grab your screen.
Okay, should be live.
Okay.
also something it sounds like you downloaded, right, Slumped? From what you had posted, that's how I understood it.
Yep. So you basically just download it as a program. You validate your key, and then you have access to your capsule. I mean, this is the very
I
beginning
can't
of it.
get it yet.
It's a little bit, I don't want to say raw. It does look very well. It does look very good, but the team has said that they still need to make some tweaks to it. This is a very bare bones version of it. Can't really do much other than put your own collections up on the wall. You can customize your motorcycle a little bit.
I
This was
can't grab
almost
this. I
like
don't know why. It's weird.
it's not working.
No.
Dang.
But I'll
Well-
describe it basically. Or go ahead, Slumped. Yeah, describe.
It's just really your house access right now. You can't really do much in it. It like almost feels more like an alpha test that they're releasing just to kind of keep people engaged with it. It does look really good. I'm super stoked. It's pretty seamless. My computer doesn't run it too well, but that's more on me than them, so that's not too big of a deal. But yeah, right now, like I was saying before, you can kind of just put your own NFTs on the wall, which is cool. They've got a live coin tracker, which is cool. You can track a ton of stuff, and you can put it even on like a minute interval, so it's super accurate. You can customize your bike. You can jump. It's very cool. Minor detail, but glad they put it in there. But yeah, just the future looks great on this project. I know a ton of us are obviously super into it. And yeah,
Cool.
we should have
Yes.
staking. They had initially announced it for yesterday, but I think it got delayed a day or two, so we should see that hopefully by tomorrow, the latest.
So did this connect to your Phantom wallet to get your other NFTs, or
No. So they're making their own solution to do that in the future, but right now I just put my wallet address in and then validate it from there. So if
Got
you
it.
were to download this, I could give you my key and you could do what I'm doing,
Okay,
at least for
that's
now.
so sick.
Yeah. Still
Yeah.
waiting on the avatar
Yes.
details. Should be in a week or two. Expecting prices on everything else to probably pump a little bit following that, because you will need the bike and capsule to get avatar whitelist. And the avatars look great. People are stoked by the previews. Everything's shaping up.
Cool, man. Somebody asked, Xcopy will hold value given enough time anyway. I mean, ideally, yes, but nobody knows what's going to happen. You could go through an awful bear market of NFTs like we did crypto, and yeah, that just won't hold up. Nothing will. BAYC will lose 75% of its value, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum did after 2017, 2018, leading up through the low of Bitcoin at around $3,000, like 2.5 years ago or whatever it was. So, yeah, who knows when that time will be, but I agree with people that say that will come. So let's see. We've done that. We've got Project Hive, another Solana.
Yep. Last of my segment today.
Yeah.
Busy weekend, busy Monday. So Project Hive is minting today. It's pretty expensive, pretty high supply, but I'm not too concerned about that. It's another game, which at this point isn't the best way to sell something, honestly, to me. But if you look on their website and you look at the team behind them, I mean, this thing looks great. It's pretty far off, which is kind of a cause for concern, so I'm not rushing into this if this one makes it to public. But their main team, let me pull up
Oh yeah.
the link
Look at
here.
that.
Yeah, their main team is absolutely stacked. They've got the guy who created it alone. He let me pull it up here. He's worked on shows at Netflix. He's worked on Destiny 2, which is a Bungie game. He's worked on a game called Ghost Runner, which is all pretty successful. And then you could look at the rest of it's just a stacked lineup in terms of skill and ability to build something correctly. They also have a crazy investor team behind them. Lots of money and resources being put into this. Might even be too big to fail. Who knows? But they have a playable alpha yet, and I meant to play it yesterday, but then the Yaku capsules went live, and I didn't get to it yet. So there is something you can play out now. Today's mint is some sort of avatar, which gives you a bonus when the game actually comes out. I believe they have staking coming out within the first week or so. So it's not just buying into this and waiting. They do have some use now, which is always cool. But yeah, I mean, just based on the team itself and the investors behind it and how it looks, I mean, it's built on Unreal Engine 5, which is great. That's enough for me personally. I think there's a lot more to gain here than to potentially lose.
Is it gonna
And
go public though, at all?
I don't know.
There's 5,200 wallets they can mint 2 each, and there's 7,000 items, and then you have another whitelist, Magic DAO whitelist, where there's 1,400 wallets, and you can mint 2 there. So
it's not impossible.
Yeah, not impossible.
Not looking great for the public, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a lot slated on their roadmap outside of the game too, which is kind of cool. So I'll be watching this one for sure.
Cool. Public would be in about 2 hours, 3 p.m. EST on Project Hive, Magic Eden. Okay. Watches. I know this would be Aiden looking at getting one of these nice watches here that we're looking at.
Yeah, so a little background on this.
On it.
Swatch and Omega are doing a collaboration called the Moon Swatch, which is based off of the Omega Speedmaster. For those that don't know, Omega is actually a subsidiary of the Swatch Group, so they're in the same family. But this collaboration obviously combines a more expensive high-end watchmaking at Omega with the more affordable watchmaking at Swatch. So they did a release over the weekend on Saturday. That was very highly anticipated and super hype. Like the lines, if you saw, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the pictures, but there were lines at almost every single boutique across the world for waiting for these watches. Retail on them is about $260. They're reselling now between like $950 and $1,300 depending on the colorway. But this isn't even a limited release. Swatch has come out and said that they'll be releasing more of these periodically. So it's kind of like a situation where we could compare it a bit to like PlayStations or like Xboxes or a similar item where the stock is never, they're never going to stop producing them, but demand will probably always exceed supply. So pretty cool to see. A traditional Speedmaster is quite expensive. I think they retail for around like 6,000 to 7,000. And to be able to get the same components of it in a much cheaper package, I think brings a watch like that to a larger audience, and that's why people were so excited. Also, there were a lot of cool colorways. There's 11 different variations. And yeah, the watch community really got behind this one. It's probably the most talked about watch that's been released this year. But for all my watch heads out there, Rolex is announcing their new models and discontinuations of existing models this Wednesday, March 30th. So that will probably be the biggest news in the watch world this year. But this is definitely like the biggest release that we've seen from Omega in quite some time. So cool to see. They're supposedly releasing online in the coming weeks. The rumor was it was going to be sometime today. There's been absolutely no confirmation or stated date from Swatch or Omega about the online release. So I would just expect it to be sometime in the next few months. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but I know some bots have added support for it. So check your bot discords if you're planning to run. I would definitely recommend running. These should stay profitable for quite some time.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna get botted to oblivion. We have Ganesh added them, Hyatt added them, Ominous added them. So I'm sure by the time we talk next, 2 other bots will have added them. So my view on that, and I was talking to a few members about this morning, is like, obviously all of these bots are adding swatch.com for the first time. So I assume it's not a super difficult site to add, being that I'm pretty sure it's just demandware. But obviously odds are that at least one of them just takes the majority of the stock, if not all of them. So for a manual user, it's going to be a tough release, and it, like you said, the time is completely random. So we're just watching the Swatch monitor, and they'll ping in the monitor when they drop. But yeah, we can move on to sneakers, Aiden.
Yeah, and go on to the dunks that are coming out here with Union Dunks.
Yeah, Aiden and I had talked, and we kind of figured we just every Monday just kind of go over some of the top, sneaker releases of the week. This week, Union dunk lows. So we saw the original pair that we always knew that there were 3 pairs dropping. We saw the original pair drop. I think it was either late February or early March on Union site. Mech did really well. We expect the same this release, hopefully. It'll be a custom domain. The purple pair is going to be in-store only, so they announced a raffle for those a couple days ago at their LA location. Then this release this week will be both online for the blue pair, which is the argon color, as well as in-store. Obviously, prices are amazing. That original pair still sits like right around, if not over 500. Safe to expect these to do just as well. So feeling really good about these. Obviously, just trying to get our hands on them if we can. The other one are Halloween dunks. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about those. Kind of just a glow-in-the-dark sneaker. Nike's releasing actually a 3-pack of Halloween shoes on April 1st. I'm assuming they've just been pushed back and delayed from October, which is a ridiculous delay, but not surprising because things keep getting pushed back just due to the usual supply chain issues. They're all glow in the dark, so I'm just going to assume that has that material or whatever they use for that. It has something to do with the delays. Regardless, we're finishing off the week strong with Air Jordan 1 Georgetowns, which are sick. It's like this light blue. It's the University of Georgetown colors, which are sweet.
Light blue.
No, it's not light blue. It's like a. Did I say light blue?
You said light blue.
Oh no, they're not light blue. They're like gray and blue, and they're sweet. They look a little plasticky, which is kind of funky, but they're gonna do well. Right now, prices are like surprisingly high. I think they're bound to drop down closer to, 230 to 270 if I could guess. But I think as of now, I'm still gonna run these in all sizes, especially because it's not a drop where we're gonna see like foot sites get a bunch of stock. It's more of a limited Jordan 1. Yeah, I mean those are the shoes this week. Not a bad week for shoes. Obviously, going over Yeezys last week, those all ended up doing well for the most part. Even Wave Runners, I ended up doing well on. We're still getting pairs in for those, but shoes are fine right now. Even on a week like this week, where there's not necessarily one big drop we're anticipating, like we're fine with, sneakers drops. Today we had Panda Dunks release 150,000 men's pairs on the app, or a Jordan release at the end of the week and Union's midweek. Like there's still plenty of money in shoes. And I'm sure we're gonna see Nike drop random shoes throughout the week too.
Yeah, those are sick Jordans.
Yeah, they're sweet. And then the other thing was Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious what happened.
Yeah, cultural moment for sure.
Culture moment. I'm bearish on the situation overall. I really thought it was I don't know. I really thought it was fake, but the more I look at it, the more I guess it's not fake. There's some people who think it was staged, like they not necessarily staged, but it was pre-approved by them for that to happen. Bring attention to it. My like theory, and this could be completely wrong, was like, okay, their view count is definitely down from last year and the year before. So like, why not bring some spice to it? That's how I viewed it. I could be again completely wrong. But yeah, that's what happened. Chris Rock announced that he's not pressing charges. Vince was worried about that earlier this morning. He thought he could press charges. That's not happening.
Well, he could have.
And
yeah, I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah, he could have.
I also didn't think it was fake. Boom! I'm on top! No, I'm kidding. I didn't think he was going to press charges, honestly. He seems too cool of a guy.
It seems crazy to me that someone can, slap someone during an awards ceremony and no one does anything. Like, I don't know. I think everyone was just too stunned to, like, even do... and what is someone going to do, right? But, like, I don't know. The fact that it happened and that everyone just went on like it didn't is just insane to me. And also the fact that it's the first Oscar award that Will Smith has ever won for Best Leading Actor. And it comes right after he smacks the shit out of the host. It's like, dude, It's insane. Like it doesn't even feel real. So
Yeah, it is. I did hear
Absolutely
that he
wild.
hadn't won an Oscar before, which is actually nuts because I feel like he's just you know, he's a legend as far as movies go. He's been in so many movies, but Chris Rock had some words for Will Smith's wife, so that was his response. I don't know. That's all there is to it.
There's a tweet out there somewhere of the audience's reaction as it happened, and it just is like probably 15 to 20 different people, and they're all just like, "Holy crap, that just happened!" Just absolutely
Damn.
stunned.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I believe it.
unbelievable. It was absolutely crazy.
Scale of 1 to 10, how hard do we think that he got slapped?
Dude,
Bro,
it looked like a
Vince and I
7.
were. I didn't even think he touched him, honestly.
Oh, he touched him.
Oh no, he rocked him.
Yeah, he did hit him. You could hear it, but the contact didn't seem.
Chris Rock's got quite a jaw to
yeah,
take
Chris
that and not
Rock,
even.
total badass, dude. Just
Yeah.
kept
He handled it
going.
pretty well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Is it a bad look on him to not do anything after getting slapped? I almost feel like how do
No.
you just take that, or he just feels like it was deserved? Maybe.
No, he just had.
I mean, what do you do at
He-
that point? You can't slap him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would have been
I
crazy
think-
if they were in a full-on fight. That would have been. Imagine that. That would have been wild.
After that happened, I think Chris Rock's immediate attention switched to like, okay, how do I bridge this to the next memo? Because he was so focused on like, okay, that just happened. Like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, he was probably just absolutely shook and didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
I guess the show must
Yeah.
go on. Right?
Yep.
Showbiz.
yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, I mean, that's what happened. Now we got a good week ahead, and yeah.
A lot to look
Sounds
forward to this
good.
week.
I'm gonna slap this Union Jar drop harder than Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Damn.
Putting it into existence right now.
Yeah, we're going crazy on Union. Hopefully Mech does well. We should look at maybe like raffling off some ACO spots too. We can talk about that later. Slumped.
For sure.
But yeah.
Cool. I'm done for the day.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in a little later than normal, guys, and keep watching World of Women Galaxies because I know we will be. It'll be a play.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.